In this slide, we are going to see the symbols in the play Macbeth. There are so many symbols, and that we have to study. For example, the first symbol is blood. Blood is everywhere presented in the play. There are so many murder in the play, and how blood is related to the play, we have to see that. Blood is everywhere in Macbeth, beginning with the opening battle between the Scots and the Norwegian invaders, which is described in harrowing terms by the wounded captain in Act 1st, Scene 2. Once Macbeth and Lady Macbeth embark upon their murderous journey, blood comes to symbolize their guilt, and they begin to feel that their crimes have stained them in a way that cannot be washed clean. See the sentence. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? Macbeth cries after he has killed Duncan, even as his wife scolds him and says that a little water will do the job. See, the blood is presented there. Macbeth is crying by observing the stain of the blood on his hand. That blood is the noble blood, blood of Duncan. But Lady Macbeth is saying that, consoling him that blood will go away with a little water. So blood is there everywhere in the play. Later, though, she comes to share his horrified scenes of being stained. Out, damned spot, out, I say. Who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? She asks as she wanders through the halls of their castle near the close of the play. Blood symbolizes the guilt that sits like a permanent stain on the consciousness of both Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, one that hounds them to their graves. So blood is one of the main symbol in this play, and it symbolizes so many things through the play. The next symbol is the weather. Weather is also different there. As in other Shakespearean tragedies, Macbeth's grotesque murder spree is accompanied by a number of unnatural occurrences in the natural realm. From the thunder and lightning that accompany the witches' appearances to the terrible storms that rage on the night of Duncan's murder. This violation of the natural order reflect corruption in the moral and political orders. So the weather is also one of the great symbol in this play. Now we have to see the motifs of the play. There is a mistake in the spelling. We will correct that later on. Hallucination. See, what is the first motif? First motif is hallucination. What is hallucination? To see the vision of someone that is not real. Vision and hallucinations recur throughout the play and serve as reminders of Macbeth and Lady Macbeth's joint culpability for the growing body count. When he is about to kill Duncan, Macbeth sees a dagger floating in the air. First vision, a dagger floating in the air. There are so many visions. The first vision is a dagger. Dagger means sura. Floating म्हणजे उडत होता in the air. Covered with blood and pointed toward the king's chamber. The dagger represents the bloody course on which Macbeth is about to embark. Later he sees Banquo's ghost sitting in a chair at a feast, pricking his consciousness by mutely reminding him that he murdered his former friend. The seemingly hard-headed Lady Macbeth also eventually gives way to visions as she sleepwalks and believes that her hands are stained with blood that cannot be washed away by any amount of water. In each case, it is ambiguous whether the vision is real or purely hallucinatory. But in both cases, the Macbeths read them uniformly as supernatural signs of their guilt. The next motive is violence. Macbeth is a famously violent play. Everywhere throughout the play we can see the violent actions. Interestingly, most of the killings take place off stage. But throughout the play, the characters provide the audience with gory descriptions of the carnage. From the opening scene where the captain describes Macbeth and Banquo wading in blood on the battlefield to the endless references to the blood-stained hands of Macbeth and his wife. The action is bookended by a pair of bloody battles. In the first, Macbeth defeats the invaders. In the second, he is slain and beheaded by Macduff. In between is a series of murders. Duncan's chamberlains, Banquo, Lady Macduff and Macduff's son all come to bloody ends. By the end of the action, blood seems to be everywhere. So violence is there throughout the play. Now prophecy is also one of the motifs. Prophecy sets Macbeth's plot in motion. Namely, the witch's prophecy that Macbeth will become first Thane of Cawdor and then king. The weird sister make a number of other prophecies. They tell us that Banquo's heirs will be kings, that Macbeth should beware Macduff, that Macbeth is safe till Birnam Wood comes to Dunsinane, and that no man born of woman can harm Macbeth. So these are the prophecies presented by three witches. 3, 4, 5 prophecies. Save for the prophecy about Banquo's heirs, all of these predictions are fulfilled within the course of the play. Still, it is left deliberately ambiguous whether some of them are self-fulfilling. For example, whether Macbeth wills himself to be king or is fated to be king. Additionally, as the Birnam Wood and Born of Woman prophecies make clear, the prophecies must be interpreted as riddles, since they do not always mean what they seem to mean. So these are the prophecies are plays the role of motive in the plays. Now we have to see the protagonist in the play. The protagonist of the play is Macbeth, the title character. Macbeth is the protagonist of the play. Even though he is not a good or sympathetic character, his ambition to be king at any cost drives the action of the play. From the beginning of the play, Macbeth is unrelentingly ambitious. Nothing that happens to him, up to and including the death of his wife, can thwart him in his quest. Due in part to the witch's prediction that he is destined to be king, Macbeth believes he is justified in committing murder to satisfy his ambition. Although Macbeth achieves his goal of becoming king, his ambition is never fully satisfied, as he spends the remainder of the play trying to defend his throne. At the end of the play, Macbeth learns the futility of his quest as he understands the true meaning of the witch's prophecy, but his knowledge comes too late for him to correct the error of his ways, and at the price of everyone he loves as well as his kingdom. Antagonist. If Macbeth is the protagonist of the play, nearly every other character serves as his antagonist. Banquo, who is ambitious but knows how to check his ambition, threatens Macbeth with his nobility and belief that time will bring his children to the throne. Duncan opposes Macbeth by holding the throne Macbeth desperately wants. Malcolm, Siward, Macduff and the other nobles actively work against Macbeth, opposing his desire to be and stay king. At the same time, Macbeth can be seen as his own antagonist. At the beginning of the play, Macbeth doesn't lack anything. He has a wife, a little, and is in the good graces of his king in allowing his ambition to override his own morality. He not only loses everything he has, he also sets his entire country in disarray. against his own best interest. His ascendancy to the throne is tainted, and in order to maintain his power, he must kill again and again. Every decision Macbeth makes takes him further from his goal of ruling securely over the kingdom of Scotland. Thank you.